Oh my god, I have started this video so many times. Why is that? So I will just start by saying then hi, welcome to my corner of the internet, which is currently based in Hackney, London. I have my tea. I just poured myself a second cup and I have notes. This time, a lot of notes because I want to keep myself on track. Okay, because the point of this video is clarifying the vision. This vision that I am fulfilling, that I am documenting as I fulfill and bring it to life. This episode specifically is about what the fuck that vision is and how I am going to manifest it. Yeah, we're talking about manifestation. Okay, so if you haven't seen the other videos, you don't have to, but the first one is how did I even get here in the first place? So it's like all of the things that led to me taking my flight across the country. Across the world, across the ocean. And then part 2 was actually the taking the big leap part, the leaving my hometown to come to London with 2 backpacks and a hope and a wish and a dream. And then what that's been like and the audition that I had that was part of why I came over here. And now we're going to talk about what's next, because this is maybe the most important part, or at least right now the most important part for me is getting super fucking clear on what I want and how I'm gonna get there. So let's focus in on that. And part of this is like dropping in to do the work, and part of that work actually is documenting it, is being unafraid to step in front of this camera and speak honestly and authentically and truthfully. So we're going to get into what the vision is, how I clarify it, and how I manifest it. But first, I just want to talk about manifesting because I feel like there is so much freaking chatter about it and everybody has something like to say about it. I have done a ton of the different manifestation stuff, all the podcasts and books and things that people have to say. So I wanted to establish what I believe manifestation is and how I believe it works so that we can be on the same page so that you understand where I'm coming from. So to manifest something means to make it real in your reality. And to manifest something, I think, takes an equal amount of belief that it's possible and the willingness to actually take the aligned actions and the steps to make it happen. So if you just believe something is possible, it's less likely to come into your reality, especially if it's something that you know you need to create or it's something that's going to take a lot of time. There are some things, sure, you can just believe them into being, but almost every single thing you do is going to need the action steps that are going to actually get you to where you want to be or make that thing real. Like the vision that I am clarifying today in this video, in these notes, that is something that I am manifesting. But that doesn't mean that I'm just like dreaming about it and then, oh, it's going to come true someday. Like that's the first 2 years, maybe. The first 2 years since I had this vision was just like, oh, it'd be so nice. Oh, I'd really love that. Oh, I'd really love that. And then I got sick and tired of dreaming about it and I decided to make it happen. Okay, so that's what I think about manifesting. It's like I see the vision, I feel the thing that I want to have, and now I have to apply myself and take the aligned actions in order to bring it into my being. That's the first thing. The other thing I want to talk about before we get into like the nitty-gritty of my situation is if you've ever studied human design, you know human design is amazing. If you don't know it, please go get your chart done. It's free. There's a gazillion ways to get it done. And you learn so much about yourself. It's similar to astrology, but like, I think deeper and more specific. I guess easier for non-astrologers to understand the super specific stuff. But if you do know human design, then you know that it talks about manifesting specifically. So in human design, when we're talking about manifesting, this is important. There are 4 variables. Well, there's 2 variables and there's 4 options. The 2 variables are passive and active, and specific and non-specific. That took me too long to figure it out. Specific and non-specific, passive and active. So the nitty-gritty of this, because I don't want to get too deep into it, is if you are a specific manifester, that means that your job is to manifest and think specifically about the things you want, the details of them, how they feel, look, taste, touch, smell, all of those things, and specifically manifest those. If you are a non-specific manifester, that's me, your job is to manifest the feeling that you want to have when that thing comes into you, into your life. So for me, when I am talking about manifesting and when I'm going into my work today on clarifying what it is that I want, I'm not thinking, oh, I want to live in this house, in this part of the city, I want to do this work, I want to blah, blah, blah. No, I am focusing on the feeling. I want to feel so much ease in my day-to-day. I want to, transport is so easy because the tube stop is so close to my house, and I walk into my house and I just want to dance because it's so beautiful and it's so light, and that's what I focus on. Okay, so that's specific versus non-specific. Active versus passive is, if you are an active manifester, this is me, then it is good to live in those feelings or in those details as much as you possibly can. And if you're passive, it is as simple as, oh, this is what I want, send that thought out into the universe and stop thinking about it. Okay, so now that we've established the two variables and the 4 ways that you can be, basically, to clarify, I am an active, non-specific manifester, which means I'm going to focus on the way that I want to feel, and I'm going to spend time luxuriating in that feeling. Okay, now that that is out of the way, excuse me while I take a sip of my tea. So good. We're going to get into the vision. I have had some version of this vision since 2023, so it's been almost exactly 3 years since this first came into my mind. I've spent a lot of that time just believing that it's possible, just building the belief in myself of, no, I'm not crazy. Yes, I have this vision and it is kind of crazy, and I do kind of want the easy way to come in and just somebody give me this job and blah, blah, blah. And it's I knew the entire time I would have to create it and build it. And I would rather do that. So it took that long, I would say the first 2 years of just believing it was possible and believing myself capable of it and building the courage to actually go out and do it. So now, where I am in the middle of creating it, and I have so much courage and trust and belief that I'm just doing it. I'm just going. Here I am in my friend's flat in Hackney because she let me stay here for the weekend. Just trusting and here and allowing the world to explode in wonder as I take the steps. Okay, so let's get into the vision. So I broke down the vision, this vision I see, into 3 parts. The first part is school, also my launch pad to get over here. The second part is home. What do I want in my home? And the third part is this creative projects and kind of the business that I want to build, because I am an entrepreneur at heart and I don't want to work for anybody else unless it's on the stage. So if we're breaking down these 3 parts, we start with the school. When I was imagining this next part of my life, I had the urge to research schools in London. Now, I have already done an acting conservatory, and I have been in acting class ever since. And I wasn't really in the mood for to go back to school. I didn't want to go back to school. I wanted to find a very specific type of training that was going to get me in and out really quick, help me get a visa to stay long term, help me get implanted into the networks that I want to be here, and give me that final level of training that I feel like I need to level myself up. So in my research, I found one school that matched that, and it's the Royal Academy of Music, Master's Program in Musical Theater. I was like, that's crazy. There's no way that I could ever do that, that they would accept me. And then I got a final callback. And I was like, okay, something about this feels very potent, and I'm going to trust that. And so I moved my flight 2 weeks earlier than I was going to, and I flew out here, and it's the best audition I have literally ever had because something about it just felt right. So I haven't heard back from them yet. I'm not supposed to hear back from them for another week and a half. And I just trust so deeply that whatever happens is going to happen. Obviously, whatever happens is going to happen, but whatever's right for me is going to happen. And I really hope that that's the Royal Academy of Music. So for manifesting that, and that is still in the works. I am in the metamorphosis, gunky, gooey part of this transformation in my life. And so I am coming to you basically from the mud. And it's not the most certain place to speak from, but it is the most honest place to speak from, I would say. So my prep work, my like manifestation work for that was believing I was capable of it and prepping really fucking well for my audition. Like just doing the work of prepping really well and knowing my songs by heart and working the character work and the vocals and my monologue and really just like living in this place of authenticity when going to speak to these people and saying, this is what I want. If you want me here, I'm 100% here. I literally said that to them. And then the other part of this, I just want to side note this real quick. When I first submitted to the academy, I didn't tell anybody. I think I told my mom and my best friend. And I was house sitting at the time, so I told my friend who I was house sitting for, because I filmed my tapes when I was house sitting for her. It was like 3 people that I told. When I got my callback, the callback caused a lot of change for me because it made me decide to leave for my trip so much earlier. And I ended up telling a lot of people about this callback. And at first I was like, I don't know if I want to tell so many people, like I kind of want to keep this private, but something in me said, don't hide it, but rather share in the excitement and the celebration of even getting a final callback for such a prestigious program, and ask them for their support, for their energetic support, for their prayers, for their good thoughts and their good energy. And something about that, I've never done that before. I've never told my friends, you know, yes, I'm moving to London. Yes, I got a callback for the Royal Academy of Music and I really want it. Will you please send me good energy? I had friends putting it in their calendars to send a prayer for me on the day of my callback. And that might be like one of the most special parts of this entire thing, is the people around me just like gushing good energy towards me for this transition. So stay tuned in one of these parts to see what happens. We're going to move on to part 2, which is home. So now that I'm here, all of that is done, and I am like, where am I putting my energy? Most of it's into my creative projects, but on a really good chunk of it is like what my life is going to be like when I settle here, when I have my home here. So here's what I have been doing to set that in motion for myself is I have been, like I said earlier, sitting in the energy of it, sitting in the feelings that I have that I want to have when I am in my home here. I learned last time I moved in LA not to be too specific, because I got super specific the first time and I was really unhappy, even though I manifested exactly what I asked for. The second time I manifested by feeling and I was so much happier. So here is like what I did is I got really clear, and I did this while walking, I did this while writing. I'm probably going to do it while traveling again, because I'm going to go to the area of town where my school is and just walk around and feel the energy there. I said my school, where the school is that I really fucking hope becomes my school. See what I mean? Like I just start speaking like that and feeling the certainty of it. So tuning into what I want my home to feel like when I do settle in and move to London. I've always had this really beautiful image of a terrace and of a comfy place to have my morning coffee when it's warm enough and read my book and like look out on some beautiful part of the city, and just the cozy, homey feeling of that. And it always has felt very like filled with plants and color and light. And I can feel like the joy and the hominess of having a roommate, somebody that I love living with. And there's always been the aspect of love, of a lover in this vision that I have, which hasn't happened before. So I'm just sitting in the enjoyment of that. But yeah, the way I want to feel when I come home is calm and quiet, like this just beautiful, magical oasis of a space in the middle of this big city that just somehow is so peaceful. And I come home and I sigh a big sigh of relief, and it's so warm and inviting, and I drop all my stuff and I just smile, and I'm so grateful to be here. That is how I feel when I walk into my home. And it's joyful, and I have dinner parties and people come to visit me, and it's super easy to get to the rest of the city because transport is so easy from my house. And blah, 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 blah. And I just go like that. And so I did this while I was walking yesterday, and then I stopped at a pub and I got some food and I journaled it. And then I listened to music and I listened to like inspiring podcasts, and I just live in this energy. Okay, that's part 2, the feeling of the home and the settle and all of that. Part 3 is the creative projects and this business or this brand, for lack of a better word, that I see myself creating. Now, this is truly the vision I saw in 2023. I had just gotten out of conservatory. I went to PCPA, an acting conservatory, and I had taken a solo road trip up north to like chill the fuck out for a week. And I was in Santa Cruz journaling, and this vision came through. The vision specifically at that point in time was me working remotely, doing something super creative where I get to sit in coffee shops like every fucking day and write, where I'm collaborating with people, where I'm helping people, where people are coming to me for like advice and guidance and creative help and intuition. And at that point, I thought maybe I would be working for somebody else, and I had this vision of the type of woman that I would be working for. And in the 2.5 years since then, it has clarified for me that I am that woman, because I have tried to manifest that woman coming into my life so many times, and every single time I think I've found her, it's not. It turns out not to be that at all. The only person that's even come close to hitting all of those boxes is me. I've also gotten the message a few times from my guides and from the various divination things that I have done in my life that what I want doesn't exist yet because I am going to have to create it. But I get to create it. So that is the super, super vague vision of it, of like working for myself, being self-employed, getting to be wherever I want to go, time and money, freedom, and location independence, super important for me because I want to be able to travel as much whenever I want. And so getting super clear on that was the first step. And then it took me 2.5 years to like continue figuring out what it is that I wanted to actually do. And now I'm becoming more clear on what it is that I want to be doing. And I'm just kind of allowing the form of it to take shape slowly in its own time. Because if I try to rush it, it's gonna just like, so here's what I know this is going to be. I'm already doing it, intuitive sessions for people for help finding purpose and direction. One time I called it like being a creative consultant for your life, because that's like what I love to do. I'm like, okay, let's get into it. Like, tell me what you love to do. Tell me what the dream day in your life is like. Tell me if you could have anything in the world and do anything, what would it be? What would you do? What do you secretly want? Like, and then talking to these people and saying, okay, so that's the vision. Where are you now? How do we get you there? What is in your way? All of that kind of stuff. And then I bring in tarot and oracle, human design, Enneagram. We can do somatic processing, like basically just helping people work through whatever it is they need to work through in order to live their biggest, juiciest, most loving and abundant and wonderful lives. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm doing. And in that realm, I am doing that for myself first, and I am writing about it as I go, and I am documenting it as I go, because I know that that is going to help people as well as the one-on-ones. And through the Substack that I have that I'm writing about, the YouTube I have that I am literally talking to right now, and various other like my Instagram and TikTok and stuff, I want to create this wealth of online presence that draws the right people to me so that I can create this kind of like creative, intuitive, magical, spiritual vortex in which I get to do my life's work and my life's purpose, which is activating people towards their life's work and their life's purpose. Damn. That was good. Okay, anyways, back into it. So I work with a coach. Her name is Rachel Josefina. She's wonderful. She has helped me do kind of what I am wanting to do for other people, but just in her form, which is come into center and find my center line and find clarity on what it is that I want. And the beauty of working with her is that she is just so good at holding the space for me to like figure it out, and then she'll help me a little bit, and then I'll be like, oh, here, and then she's like, what about this? And I'm like, yeah, that totally too. But the clarity that I have found recently when I'm like, what is this? What am I trying to build? What do I do? What do I do? The clarity that I found is this. For the next 3 months, it is my job to continue my travels and live the most incredible life that I possibly can, following my intuition and meeting people, and write about it and create about it and just create, and kind of have this like vortex of my own creative energy, of my life force energy, stay in that vortex and allow that to like manifest the shit out of my life. Draw in the people that I'm meant to work with and create something for me that is sustainable, that's going to last a long time, that is going to be my source of income, that is going to be my source of like fulfillment and purpose, and fulfill that vision that I had all of those years ago about just that life that I can like see and sense and feel for myself. That's the end of my notes. So going back to the manifesting thing, because of where I am in my life right now, because I am in this state of like, I got my backpack sitting on the floor, I'm here for another night, and then I'm going to Edinburgh, like I'm living that traveling, I am abundantly resourced right now. I sold my car, so I have a couple $1,000, set aside for myself to support me through this while I figure it all out. Like, I am exactly where I want to be. I am exactly where 2 years ago me imagined digital nomad Julia being, so that I can live in this traveling and writing and meeting people vortex of creativity and intuition and abundant life energy. And that is going to take me exactly where I want to be. That's part 3. Part 4, no idea what it's going to be or where it's going to come from, but I'm so excited for it, and I will see you when we get there. Good luck manifesting, and go get your human design if you don't have it already, because it is literally life-changing.